Chapter 13. "Hate father going," Jacob said as I rowed toward shore. "That's foolish," I returned, compelled to truly begin being in charge of him. "The whole point of our coming here is so he can gain riches, is it not? And we need to wait for mother. Correct? Please stop worrying, I promise. Mother will get here soon. Ships are arriving all the time. I heard 20 came in yesterday, among them 1 from China and 2 from Chile, as well as ones from England and Australia." He said, "What about from Rhode Island?" When I made no answer, he shifted around to seek a last look at father. What if father doesn't get any gold? Though I knew that was a perfectly fair question, I gave no reply. "Not everyone gets rich, you know," he said, and took off his hat, and studied the feather father had given him. "And if the feather is so lucky, why did he give it to me? He's the one who needs luck. Another thing," he went on, "I met this boy just in from back east. Said there's some sickness there called cholera." He was trying to keep from crying. His list of possible disasters not complete, he said, "What if mother gets sick? And I don't like father's new beard. It scratches." I said all miners have them. But what if I found Jacob so aggravating that I smacked an oar down on the water and splashed his face. "Jacob Lydell," I cried, "don't you know anything? The more you speak what if balderdash, the more likely it'll come true. Let your will decide your destiny." "What's that mean?" "You're too young to understand." Jacob, sulky, wiped water from his face and glared at me. Next moment his boyish chest heaved with suppressed sobs. Then, in a switch to a sarcastic voice, he cried out, "Nothing bad will happen, nothing." Then in his true voice he added, "Except I keep thinking something bad is going to happen. But don't listen to me." "I don't intend to," I snapped. "I'm going to enjoy my new life. I urge you to do the same." As I rowed, I had a keen sense that it was hard being the older sister. Hard for me and for Jacob. Did he wish to be independent of me or be under my supervision? I think it was difficult for him to know. It is curious. The same conditions make people act in different ways. San Francisco's wildness caused Jacob to worry and be wrought with anger. It filled me with energy. We reached the shore and started walking uphill. Halfway back up to our tent, passing mules, donkeys, and horses pulling wagons, Jacob's left boot stuck in the mud. Frustrated and irate, he twisted around and looked back down at the bay. The morning fog had lifted and a wind was rising, gusting that everlasting dust. I followed his look. Beyond the 400 or so ships of Rotten Row, and the dozen newly arrived vessels, I saw the Senator. Side wheels churning, she was moving toward the goldfields, leaving a trail of vanishing smoke. "Torrey," said Jacob, in a voice full of true despair, "what if father disappears like that steamer smoke? People say it happens all the time. The men go up to the diggings, get lost, or die. We'd know nothing. We'd never hear of father again. And what if something happens to mother's ship? If she doesn't come, we'd have to stay here, just us, or what if something happens to you? What would happen to me? I don't want to be alone." Tears were flowing down his cheeks. "Jacob, you're like a pincushion, with every worry a prickly pin." "You're not so great," he cried. "You dress like a boy. You're tall and scrawny, with brown hair braided down to the middle of your back. Nothing but a skinny scarecrow. Ugh." Refusing to let him diminish my spirits, I merely called, "Come on, Slowpoke. You heard father. We're required to stay together." With a gross glugging sound, Jacob pulled his booted foot out of the mud and started to move uphill again. I had the thought, what will I do with him?